Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the EOT Journeyman Valorant League. A bit of a different voice this time around. I'm actually joined by someone who you normally don't hear from. My name's Qrath, and I'm joined by a lovely Crash, who is in the background. I hope he is all good and well.
Yeah, doing pretty well right now. So don't normally commentate though, but look, Digital unfortunately isn't with us tonight, so I'll be taking the reins of him, doing a bit of color commentating for you guys outside of the regular observing. And then luckily, I am joined by Crafter, so that does make my life a bit easier. So he'll be the shouty man for tonight. So you get to hear all the play-by-play coming through him, and I'll just be doing the big brain analysis for you fellas.
Yeah, look, it'll be occasionally pretty rough, but
Mm-hmm.
we'll see how it goes, obviously. Me coming from a different game.
Yep.
Look, just taking a quick look at the standings. Not much has really changed yesterday, but we really only had the one matchup between Nebula and Exto. That was actually a pretty decent banger. Did go into double overtime, 16-14, so definitely had some good moments there. I did talk with Nebula afterwards. Apparently, they were running something a bit off meta, so I don't know if that was a little bit obvious to you, Crash, but it did look a bit strange.
Look, right, they're running four duelists, so something's definitely, four duelists with the sky, right? Like, that's your most unconventional comp right there. Outside of that, it'd generally be like a five duelist type deal, right? But it's interesting. Nebula getting upset by Exter. I guess we can consider that to be an upset. Outside of that, though, a current game that we are going to be seeing on stream today is going to be Qrackedteam up against Oooga Booga. And I mean, these rosters, I mean, I feel like Oooga Booga, a lot of them are just kind of like household names in the OC Valorant scene now. Gunma, Myth, Panic, Nerox, Noz. Panic being part of that old legacy roster, Myth being a part of Process, Fury, and Gang at one point. Nerox and Noz, I believe, both played on that Gravitas roster, and I'm not too sure to me. So I'm quite interested to see how these guys go toe to toe with Oooga Booga.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for the Qrackedteam, they're look. I'll be honest; they're an up-and-coming developing team. I don't think they're going to be in the same leagues in terms of, genuinely not even going to be close towards Ooga Booga, right? There's a lot of people on this side for Qrackedteam that are just looking to kind of grind and improve. I don't think they're terrible players, but I think this is the part where there is going to be a huge overmatch, right? You're talking about players that are qualified for the VOT quite convincingly up against each other. We'll take a quick look at the highlight players as well for both sides. Obviously, our Qrackedteam didn't have really the best time against Nebula last week, but JH Kicks, really bringing the aggressive operator as well, which is pretty interesting a lot of the time. Because you normally don't use the operator in the aggression, even as Jet.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of the time nowadays, at least, you're not really seeing an operator on the attacker side. It's more like a defensive side type thing, but obviously pairing the operator with Jet is like your bread and butter combo, right? Like, that's the reason why the operator was considered to be like absolutely broken in this game until they nerfed it, right? It's also good just seeing like four first bloods from this individual as well up against a team of we can consider to be a higher caliber, right? And I mean, that's not an awful like KDA as well, so it does show a bit of promise there. And I mean, Nebula has been a bit of an established team as well, so at least good to see like some good individual performances coming out from this individual.
Yeah, I mean, on the side, I mean, just quickly touching obviously on the MVP or like the kind of like the best performing player from last week on the side of Ooga Booga. I mean, between Gunma as well as Panic, I think it's both pretty similar in terms of the score wise, in terms of the impact as well. I think Panic had something like 6 first bloods, but Gunma as well, just pretty insane in terms of the impact.
I mean, these are just like your bread and butter, like consistent riflers that you want on your team, right? These are the players, like Panic and Gunman in particular, right? Those are the two players that you want to be consistent throughout the whole entire game, right? Because if they're putting up numbers, it's just going to be able to completely snowball that momentum for the rest of the team. Everyone's going to be playing well, the hype in the team, the vibe's going to be really good, right? But outside of that, though, we are going to be looking at the vetoes currently, and I know Icebox is a bit of a favorite one for you, isn't it, Krath?
Well, yeah, I mean, let's see if it's working all well. I mean, we are jumping into the agent selection, so might as well go. Yeah, so Icebox actually going to be the map that's going to be played tonight. Ooga Booga, not Ooga Booga, sorry. Qrackedteam had the choice between Ascent and Icebox. So, I mean, it's the first time we're seeing it here at the EOT Valorant League. I don't know if you've seen much of it in terms of the other like qualifiers, like the VOT, the First Strike, and whatnot. I don't think it's actually a map that's seen too often, is it?
It's one of those things where at the start, everyone wanted to avoid this map like the plague, right? Like, no one wanted to play this. This was that one map. Everyone hated it in ranked, and when you play it in competitive, people just didn't want to play it, right? I feel like now the map's kind of like developed a lot more, right? People have finally figured out how to actually play the map. So the fact that it's developed a lot more means that teams probably want to play it a bit more. And I'm happy with seeing this over Ascent, because Ascent is basically like the mirage of this game, right? and everyone wants to play it, everyone's good at it, right? So I'm happy that we're seeing some variety coming into this tournament. But the one thing I'm not a fan about Icebox is this is my least favorite map to observe because there are too many like angles in this. I don't know how the teams like. I don't actually understand what to do half the time, and a lot of the time I'm just gunning for like whichever angle I think is best. So something I do want to talk about though is that we missed an agent select. Is the side of Qrackedteam is playing a Viper and they're also playing an Omen, so they're playing a double controller setup, which is something you don't really see too often. Generally on Icebox, you are picking one or the other. But they opted to go for both of them, so this is quite interesting. And since they've done that, it means they're only opting for the single duelist, which is going to be the JH kicks on the Jet. Also, on the flip side, we are seeing a double duelist setup with a single controller, and that's going to be Noz on the Omen and Panic and Gunma on the Raze and Jet, respectively. So this is going to be a potential explosive game coming out from Oooga Booga there, but I'm really interested to see how Qrackedteam handles their aggression.
I mean, already first up, just getting the owl drone in, just Noz spotting things out. Has the smokes to drop though. Rotation's not coming forward just yet. Orb secured over there on that B side of things. I think the A side push should be coming out soon, but with Qrackedteam not really committing forward from here, it does actually mean there's time for the players to rotate across. Panic's over here now with the Sheriff in hand. Here we go. Contact's been made so far. Panic spots out the majority of the members. The Viper wall actually is pretty solid, does screen out a lot of this information, allows that plant to go down. Sage wall as well. That's a pretty good start, but this is where it does boil down to that 5 and 5.
Yeah, these are the rounds I'm not too a fan of. I'm not a big fan of 5v5 retakes either, but look, we are seeing... Okay, well, look, I mean, he's been dinked down. I was going to say this could be an insane lurk coming out from him. The timing's a little bit too early there. Gunma with an excellent Sheriff headshot to take down Bimmy there. He's going to be able to potentially find another, but doesn't... Oh my goodness, no way!
Uh-oh. How does he get away with the knife at close range? Myth as well, cleaning up. Left platypus was there in the lurk earlier. He's wrapped back around, but he has to make a bit of noise. I mean, not much more they can really kick off. Unfortunately, once again, Qrackedteam just can't really hold on to the retake, unable to deal out the angles, and Oooga Booga able to just capitalize on taking some individual deals. I mean, I think it's just icing on the cake as well as a knife kill coming out, which is something you hate to see.
I mean, that's just sending a message, and we're only one round in, right? We're going into the second round. This is going to be the buy coming out from Oooga Booga, and I mean, already a knife kill in this game. That's not something you see very often, right? The confidence on this individual to go for that as well, knowing he has a Sheriff in his hand as well. I mean, that's definitely a very confident play we're seeing there, but I mean, this is a very standard setup as well. We're seeing true marshals because they know that they're not going to be buying any shields going into this round. I mean, that should potentially be a spam kill, but no, Myth is going to tag him down very heavily, and the Sage Heal will be used there.
Yeah, going to be proceeding up the tunnel right now. Massing on numbers once again, though. Myth will be able to drone in with the owl. Spot out a couple of members over here. Should be able to push forward as well. A decent spray down. Obviously, not too much more beyond that. Actually, doing quite a bit of damage right now. Big Sad Girl able to really make the classic work out. At least picks off 2, so it does force a bit of reinvestment into this one. But that's a pretty decent Spectre spray down, if I do say so myself.
Something to note about that as well is because of the fact that they all funneled into that tube location and Myth was there to capitalize on them, and he managed to get 3 out of that alongside going down. He has his ultimate available, and we're on to the 3rd round, right? So this will be the rifle round coming out from Qrackedteam over here. But Myth already having his ultimate, this could potentially just be a bit of a win condition coming into this round, right? Like, you don't normally expect an ability like this to be out already.
Would you use Hunter's Fury, though, coming into this bonus round? There's still, obviously, the Spectres in play right now. They're starting to get a bit aggressive over here as well towards the A side of things. Look at that 4-stack coming forward.
Look, I'd say it's definitely, if you feel like you can win the round, I'd say go for it as well. You want to be able to get the momentum going in your favor. Oh my lord, what just happened?
Yeah, that's a Spectre at long range up against a bit of a rifle. I don't know if it was a Vandal or the what do you call it? The Phantom being used at that range. Does look like the Vandal. Trade does come out, though, from Nerox. Did have the Sheriff in hand. All he needed to do was really put in one shot. Spike's been lost in the open. So this is a bit tricky. This is really all down to kind of the Omen making the play on left platypus, wrapping around through tube if he's able to find any openings.
This could be a potentially big one. Well, there's the ultimate being used.
Oh, I mean, that's an opening and a half, isn't it? That's 2 openings right there. Left platypus.
Massive.
Nerox hiding away, only has a Sheriff to work with, trying to shoulder peek out. Vimy gets body tagged once up. Flank is, though, coming forward. Wall comes up just to buy enough time. Nerox is actually the one making a huge impact with the Sheriff, repaying the favor. Noz, though, slips in the right timing. able to secure another round at that stage for Oooga Booga. Was looking decent for Qrackedteam at a certain stage, even though they did lose control of the spike. But unfortunately, just not finding the right window of opportunity.
I think this is one of those cases where, look, I don't want to call this early. We are currently 3-0 up, right? But that round, it's one of those things where it's like you kind of need to win that round to start getting some momentum on your side. I think that was just a case of potential, just like individual gap, right? The fact that Nerox is able to get 3 with a sheriff of all things on a round with the enemy team has all rifles is something. I'm not gonna. I don't want to be that guy, but that's definitely not a good sign to be coming out already. Then I mean, Panic's already creeping up mid. Like this guy is very thirsty for kills right now.
I mean, the dart also comes out as well. Dashes away though, doesn't really bite off too much more than he can chew. There's also a Sage available, so yeah, take down a little bit, loses a bit of the armor. Map control though is slowly being gathered by Qrackedteam over here at mid. They're able to just file away for now. But that said, a couple of rifle kills over there at mid instantly brings it back down. As soon as the wind cloud kind of breaks, or the cloud burst breaks, the rifle is able to strike. Myth locking down to you. Panic as well. Happy to take the duels in unison. Demi on the Viper is going to be in a very awkward scenario. Wouldn't be surprised if the shock dart does actually land the kill.
Not too sure why he's not just going for the shock dart. I feel like it would just confirm the kill there. I guess he doesn't know how low he is, but it doesn't matter though. He's going to get the kill in the end. That is a 5 HP left platypus and a 1-on-3 Karath.
Yeah, misses it. I mean, the shock dart goes flying past. I don't think there's much he can really do. He has to be a fantastic entry. I mean, he does get the first tag, but Myth, all he needs to do is just recalibrate a little bit. Doesn't really need to find the headshot there. 4-0, some decent damage found in that round, considering only Sheriff's in play for Qrackedteam. Out comes the rifles once again, and the operator as well. We were talking about this for JH Kicks. Doesn't actually have any armor backing that up, but Panic as well. Operator out for the defensive jet.
The difference is right now is Panic is going to be located towards that A site, so he's most likely going to be scoped down towards that lower A area. I mean, there it is, right? This is just a very standard angle to hold, right? You basically take so much map control indirectly just by holding this angle there. But it looks like there is a bit of a B stat coming out here from the side of Qrackedteam. Like, that is a really nice tag to start off the round.
Yep, Lake straight onto Noz. I mean, the Sage really isn't in position. They're just going to... Well, for Oooga Booga, the protocol is just going to be pushing on the other side of the map. And we're probably going to see another 5-on-5 retake. Your favorite, unless left platypus gets stopped on this lurk rotation. He is stopped there.
That's a fight you need to win if you're on the side of Qrackedteam there. But 4v5, definitely not out of the realm of possibility. As the Viper's Pit has been used, they're going to make the retake a lot harder. Panic's in an interesting position here. Snakebite already burnt, which is interesting. Instead of opting to use that for the hard retake denial. And I mean, there you go. JH Kicks with the evening up the numbers.
This is the difference though right now. I mean, a couple of different angles to find. Vimy just holding the line at this stage, denies the defuse as well. Pretty smart stuff. Vimy's still alive. I mean, Gunner's pulled out the showstopper as well. I don't know if it's enough to really win this round because just fights around, smokes around the Viper Pit. I mean, eventually it is going to be the defuse going barely in the favor, I would say, of Oooga Booga.
What? Oh my.
There it is. Barely. Less than a second left on the timer as well. Cutting it pretty close, but they're able to find out a lot of picks at the end of the day. Gunmer as well, making it work out at the end. But I mean, that's what you're talking about in the retakes as well, isn't it? It is quite awkward when there's about 3 sets of utility. There's about 4 fights happening at the same time. Who do you really focus the camera on, eh, Crash?
Oh, yeah. Well, look, the fact that I also have to do a little bit of talking as well doesn't help me out there. But look, we're all here for a bit of fun at the end of the day. Yeah, there is a debate in my existence, right? That anytime I'm in a 5v5 or a 4v4 retake, it gets a bit chaotic, especially in a game like Valorant, where every agent has unique abilities, and it's not just as black and white as a game like CS, where it's just kind of like you can probably imagine what's going to happen. But I mean, there you go. JH Kicks has already got the Blade Storm off, and it looks like they're going to be pressing onto that B bomb site, or spike site, excuse me. Yeah,
but once again, the lurk from left platypus is going to be picked off. Gunmer does look like he's getting the better of it. JH Kicks, this is just relentless aggression at the moment. Hunter's Fury also comes out as well. Just probably a bit of clearance from Myth, and he's able to at least pick off a few. Unfortunately for JH Kicks, this is the rest of the Blade Storm. Myth actually drops 2 to the Hunter's Fury. And unfortunately, I mean, the bomb plant does go down, the spike plant does go down. Chaotix was looking to get a dart out, but Nerox, the flank already came through as the aggression on the A side. So able to really secure the flank. Nerox also pushing off
oh my.
Yeah, a bit of cheekiness there. I mean, you're up 6-0 at this stage. You don't really need the ult points, do you?
Look, if you want to play perfect Valorant, then you want to be able to be securing those ultimates correctly. But look, at this point, I feel like they're just having a bit of fun right now. Outside of that, I'm liking the idea of Qrackedteam, how they want to use that Omen as alert, because obviously there's dark covers, you can deploy them. From pretty much like the other half of the map, right? They're going to bloom on the other half because they do travel a long distance as well. So it's good that they have like at least an idea in mind going into these rounds. There, it's just not winning the Angels right now. I mean, the side of Oooga Booga just looking really sharp as well and just really composed in their play.
Yeah, the first contact though is going to be made. JH kicks once again, going to be on that operator. But the dart comes out, information gathered that it is once again going to be this B-side setup. Hopefully left Platypus is looking to punish the A-side aggression. Dark cover and smokes across mid. Does maybe allow Qrackedteam to maybe take a bit of control here.
There you go. There's the drone coming out. Panic forced to back off the angle for the time being. He's going to take that space, but it doesn't matter because Panic's just going to peek into them and just completely delete them out of the round already.
There's no trade potential, is there?
Yeah, no, there's not. And I mean, there you go. The res has been burnt. Back to a 5v5 situation there, but they won't be having any shield going into the rest of the round, excuse me. Nerox? This could be huge.
Yeah, I don't know if this is going to be checked or not. That's the real question. Qrackedteam slowly and steadily starting to come in. Panic as well, just still dueling it out over at mid, while the rest of them slowly walking in. Nerox, he's the wrong way. At this stage, they've actually just walked all past him. I don't know if anyone's...
It's happening!
I don't think they have. They've just exchanged positions.
It's happening!
Oh no, Vimi's still alive at this stage, obviously buying space and time. Now the spike's been planted, they're going, hang on a second, how has this happened? Nerox finally makes the impact felt. I don't know how that works out in his favor. All down to left Platypus, a couple of nice kills. Cloudburst comes forward, might actually help out. He tries to get, I mean, blind out, but unfortunately it doesn't really hit the mark. Doesn't really have any rounds left in the magazine. I don't even know what happened in that round in terms of anything. Nerox looked the wrong way, and kind of just all capitulated from there.
I'll tell you right now, there's also some of the rounds I dread where there's action going on one side of the map and there's a bit of a fight going on towards the other side, and I have no idea who I'm meant to keep it on because I don't know who's going to take next contact there. I thought Nerox was just going to be able to get 3k there. Nobody, they just passed, and there's like this insane timing there. And then I thought Nerox was going to get one and then go down, and then he somehow gets the fight onto the opposing Sage and wins it. And then he goes down. What? I don't know how this is happening.
Revealing area.
Well, that's a big dot there.
Pretty solid.
Okay.
Smith actually also gets the spam through the Viper Wall as well. That's pretty good. They're still trying to commit through two, but normally we see Myth. As soon as he loses his mid control, he does actually drone in. So he tries to get a lot of information. Now Panic as well. Bladestorm coming out. Lurk's being picked up at the same time over there on the A side. Once again, though, it's just a relentless aggression at this stage. Finally, Panic, at least one person shut down, but the paranoia comes through. And if it's not the paranoia and the surrounding members, it's going to be Myth. Just locking down some territory. Fortunately for Qrackedteam, no incursion really working right now. Even though they are trying to go in together, they're just getting disrupted before they can even get any control.
It's just at this point, it's just... they're not really finding an answer here. They have a lot of tools available to them. But the issue is Oooga Booga is just on top of their case every single round. Panic has played towards A and he's played towards mid now. And he's just finding success everywhere he goes. We're going to potentially be seeing another left Platypus left. No, it's just going to be the 5-man B all the way into Myth.
Myth once again. Recon Bolt just goes out. Dart comes forward, he spots the majority of the team.
Wait, he doesn't have a gun. Wait, he doesn't have a gun.
Might have just thought he had a gun, didn't buy up, but he's going to bring the Classic out. The Classic doing some work at this stage. How was he holding on with the Classic? Finally, the stinger from the Sad Girl coming across. Panic is going to be cleaned up as well at close range. There's a couple of weapons retrievable. By couple, I mean only really one, but I don't think they have time. Nerox has plenty of time to rotate across, picks up 3 in that round as well. Makes the rifle work look pretty easy. Panic's operator's retrieved as well. I mean, at this stage, I don't even know if you need to retrieve the operator. You've got plenty of cash to reinvest. You can look at the difference in terms of the economy.
Yeah, I mean, 3 rounds remaining in this half, and they've got enough money or credits, as the game likes to call them, as going into this round. We're seeing one operator there, but yeah, look, they can buy for the next 3 rounds, and maybe some more rounds as well if they keep winning and keep that economy going. If there was more rounds in the half there, but they got 3 left, so it's whatever. I mean, these darts by Myth as well are really interesting. I feel like he's getting a lot of value out of them. Never mind, JH kicks with the opening on a Noz.
That's value. Once again, it's like one of the times where they get a pick. Qrackedteam can go up 5v4. The question is how they're going to punish the corresponding aggression that's going to be coming out. Oooga Booga, you can see they're trying to retake map control, like just like that. You've got to be picking that one up. Panic gets away, equalizes the numbers, kind of settles it down once again. But once again, just Gunma is just able to transition. Depth packs forward, knows there's going to be another member. Showstopper comes out as well. But hey, Chaotix is able to get away. He's just lost the rest of the team in the meantime over there on the A side.
Little thing to note though,
I don't know what else to say, Crash.
One thing I wanted to note about Gunma there is he used both his blast packs originally to get into that angle, right? He wanted to satchel himself forward to take that fight earlier. As soon as he pulls out the showstopper, he looks towards the ground because he wants to satchel, but he just realizes that he's out of satchels and he can't get all the way into, I don't actually know how to say that name. The server's face, the opposing team server's face. So that's just a little chaotics, yeah. Look, there's numbers in that. That's lead speak. Look, I haven't seen a lot of names like that in recent memory there. It's still interesting though, but yeah, it's just a little funny detail that I just noticed there. But outside of that, I mean, 10 rounds on the board. I feel like they are on for a potential perfect game by the looks of things in terms of rounds, but I could potentially jinx it there as Panic's forced off the line. Goes for the Hunter's Fury, but I mean, the Hunter's Fury against the Jet, right? They've got so many mobility, well, so much mobility in their kit, right? Like, it's not going to be easy to get a kill onto them with that Hunter's Fury. Then that's already going to be the ultimate burn.
Okay, here's the difference though this time around though, isn't it, Crash? They've managed to actually take tube control. There's actually no Sova out to really retake it. I mean, at this stage, you really need information.
Just take the fights.
Panic's hitting shots like that.
Yeah, just take the fights. Honestly, I feel like at this point, you can just run around corners, W here, and you know you're probably going to be winning the fights, right? I mean, Panic's quite literally holding a sheriff, and he doesn't have a reason to care because he knows he's very confident in taking those angels, right? He doesn't really want to sit there and just kind of like wait for them to peek into his crosshair. He's taking the initiative now. But speaking of taking initiative, it does look like they are going to be making the call to go towards that A site where they are going to get greeted by Nerox in the end.
Yeah, Nerox over here still has, I would say, probably still has a wall available, has a couple of slow orbs. We'll hear this utility coming forward. Be relatively confident locking this site down as well. The wrap does come around, though. No wrap around just yet. Looking like Sargel was thinking about pushing forward. Oh, Chaotix was trying to find the window of opportunity. Doesn't work out for him.
Oh, he knows.
I think he does know. Wall comes out as well. Panic at close range, more than happy to use the 6-shooter. Vimy, doesn't matter, I think, at this stage how much utility he uses. Panic's going to eventually just pick up at least 3. Another 3. I was going to say, lots of rounds where he's going to pick up 3 or 4. They have it, 11-0 half. That's going over in the favor of Oooga Booga. I don't even know. I mean, I was expecting maybe this could happen. Especially if Oooga Booga is like that team that's going to be taking it pretty seriously coming into this. And in fair cop to them as well, they haven't really shown anything disrespectful in terms of anything in these 11 rounds.
I mean, if we consider a knife kill on a pistol round to be disrespectful, that's the only real thing you can consider that to be, right? Outside of that, they've been playing a very clean game. They haven't really been... I'd say, I mean, there's maybe just like some times that they randomly go in for peaks, but at this point, like, who wouldn't be if you're this many rounds up, right? Like, it's just kind of like what you're going to do at this point.
I mean, I was going to say as well, I mean, it could be the case that you play disrespectfully because you're not picking the same operators, you're not going to play in terms of like how you'd actually play the informational game, you play aggressive with 5 operators. They're not treating it like that, right? They're pretty much treating it with respect in terms of anything. Once again, just a passive angle watch that's going to work out. Boombot also scouts out there's going to be another member over there in Gunmo and Nerox looking to play tag team together. That was though going to fall away.
Well, Nerox getting tagged up a little bit. Doesn't matter though, because Panic's going to be able to find a second in the round. Make it a third, actually. This man is just completely farming right now.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Nerox... No, actually, left Platypus pretty decent this time around. Able to lock down this A-side aggression. Rotation's going to come forward. But look at this, Oooga Booga have pretty much every single ultimate to use. Panic also spots out, I would say has spotted out that Sage. JH Kicks was rezzed as well earlier on. Bladestorm does come out. Close range, and I think this is Panic. Could be on for the 6, in all honesty. He's
Absolutely
set
no
up
way.
for this right now. He is actually going to get the ace. I don't know, what do you call the 6?
No
We
way.
call it a pentakill, right?
I have no idea. I don't actually think I've ever seen. What is it, like a hexakill?
Hexakill?
6K?
6K, yeah.
One or the other. I don't think I've
Hexakill.
ever seen that in a professional match or a league match, tournament match, any of the sort, right? So there you go. Enjoy the Twitter content or the nice little highlight clip you have there. Panic.
I
I mean,
Panic is just a question of
what is
what his
that?
Twitter title is going to be. Like,
Yes.
Tapman drinking X energy drink while doing Y action just beats helpless. I don't know.
Does
Man
sound like
really
a bit of a
crossed a
Panic
couple
thing
of
to say
Twitter
there.
things, doesn't he?
Yeah. Because Twitter's definitely got a bit of content in there, but I mean that 6K is also a bit of content as well as very basic. Okay, well I'm gonna say right now I haven't really been very done much color this game, considering it's been a bit of a one-sided affair there. But I'm not too sure if I'm gonna agree with this Sheriff buy from a Viper on pistol round. You do need that utility going into this round. I mean, look, it doesn't seem to be working out. Already tagged down heaps. Nerox has just taken the fight to them, and it does look like this could potentially be wrapped up. They don't manage to find a way into this round.
Yeah, 5 and 4 right now as well. Noz locking down the lurk. Actually takes a ghost shot, so at least his presence is revealed. Same for Qrackedteam. Not much utility really to go in at this point in time. Left Platypus. Gonna be breaking the wall. Nerox gonna try and make this contact. Surely the trade comes forward. Vimy was actually watching the flank. Was so scared of the flank coming forward. Nerox is in the perfect position. And while Chaotix 1 on 4 at this moment, at least he's able to pick off a single one. Knife kills might be coming out the stage. At least it's gonna be Gunma coming out with a ghost. The 13-0 does happen at the end. I mean, not much really to say for this one, is there, Crash? That's pretty clear domination coming out from Oooga.
Look, I kind of expected nothing less from that game, but I didn't expect that, right? I expected to be a pretty clean one-sided affair, but I did not expect a 13-0 with a 6K from Panic as well to top it all off in that last round of the first half, right? I mean, this is kind of what you want to be seeing from Oooga Booga. You want a very... That's a pretty clean game. I wouldn't really say any of these rounds were like very like just nail biters, right? Maybe that bonus round coming out from them was one that you could definitely pinpoint as potentially being like some sort of a, oh, this is a nail biter, right? But Nerox managed to get a 3K in that with a Sheriff of all things up against rifles. Like, it just shows that the individuals on Oooga Booga are people that you do not want to mess around with. You want to make sure you're taking these guys seriously, because they will just aim duel you if they feel like it. These guys are very sharp individuals, and they're playing really well as a team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think there's much to break down beyond that. 13-0 at the end of the day. Look, pretty short stream, all things considered, obviously, for that one. I mean, for Qrackedteam, at the very least, they were able to show a couple of bit. We were able to see Icebox, but we're probably going to call it there for today's stream. Obviously, very quick match day number 7. We actually do have a match day tomorrow. We are going to have Dynasty up against Sanguine, I do believe. So it's good to see the Sanguine able to field a roster this time. Before we do go, though, any parting words, Crash? Thanks once again for joining us, for doing a bit of color commentating as well as doing the observing. It's always greatly appreciated.
Look, if I knew the game was good, look, in closer games, I have to be doing one or the other, right? You can't really multitask, and I do feel for casters who do need to be doing that observing by themselves if they're streaming like a random game, right? But look, I mean, this game was definitely one where I could hop in and just have a bit of fun, right? No disrespect to the team, so this was great fun. I mean, a couple of highlight plays, you know, a bit of content coming out. No, that's about it, really. I didn't expect us to be here for not even 30 minutes doing a very quick game, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, quick night sometimes is a good night, as they say. So once again, thanks all for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed today's match day number 6 for the EOT Journeyman League. Look, we'll be back tomorrow once again from 8 PM. Not too certain if you're going to hear my voice once again, if you're going to get digital back in. Might have a bit of a combination, but until then, take care. Have a great evening.